Hello and welcome back to part 3 of the CBN grinder build, featuring the Moresuperhard CBN wheels. We're going to see how they work today, hopefully. Saw me cutting these. That's going to be a guard that fits on the shaft here. Maybe. I'm going to try to bend that through my little rolling machine that I made. I don't know if it'll do it or not. That's probably 3/32. And then we're going to make the tool rest. We're going to mill down the tool rest bar. You saw me turning that in the lathe too. It's a, when I turn down, that little set screw goes through there and goes into the slot I turned down. And I got some hot rolled steel there I'm going to make the tool rest out of, 3/16. I wish that it was cold rolled, but that's what I got on hand. We'll make it look like something. Right now we're going to mill that bar on the mill. Right there is what I just turned in the lathe, and that's the marks I made for center, which happens to be exactly center, which surprised me. We're very close. I got a couple of blocks in here that I'm going to clamp this with, because I'm going to use those marks to mill to. I don't have to go quite up to it. I'm going to go just to the outside of those marks. But I need to mill down halfway plus the 3/16, so it's a lot of milling. And I don't know if it's going to be solid enough hanging out there or not. We'll see. I may have to take a different approach. But by doing it this way, it's absolutely the same on both sides. There's no chance for error, which makes it easier. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this or not. We're going to use flood coolant, and maybe that'll help us out. I'm going to mill the ends down and work my way toward the center. That way it's got some kind of rigidity to it. Okay, new plan. This is going to take a lot of milling. So we're going to cut that out with the bandsaw and then make it smooth with the mill. Well, that was a lot of milling. It's good that I chose to use the bandsaw to take off the bulk of it. Okay, it kind of looks like it's not going to work right, but after you add the thickness of the tool rest, it stays the same distance away from the That's perfect. I'll have to undercut the tool rest a little bit. So now we got to make 2 tool rests that bolt onto this and contour these stones. I wish I had more of this cold rolled steel in a bigger piece. This is all I got, the same thickness. I believe we can make that look like something, but I like that. That's going to work good. That right there is the relief on the back where it's contacting the stone, so that I can tip it up without the grinding wheel cutting into the tool rest. Nice. I don't know how well you can say that. Not bad. Not bad at all. And I duplicate the same angle on the finer stone. That's nice. And if I want to square something off real quick, That's square. Well, it's making a mess. Okay, I built this roller several years ago. And I don't know if it'll do this or not. This is 3/32 thick. Working better than I thought it would work. Okay, I've been thinking about this. The roller worked really well. I'm going to weld that to it and then take the bandsaw and cut that off there, but or at least that's what I was going to do. But I think what I need to do is make a tube coming from the bottom at an angle for the debris to come out of, and I'll hook up some kind of can or bag or something to catch that. Thought about making it out the back, but out the bottom's probably more efficient. I mean, that's where all the debris ends up on the grinder. But I didn't have the right size square tubing to make that chute. So I'm going to weld that together there, which is the same as that. Cut that curve right there, and then weld it in place. And that'll give me the exhaust. A whole lot of work to go to, but it'll be kind of fun, kind of test my TIG welding skills on this thin stock here. I got to tell you, I love this bevel welder here. It's been a real workhorse. The Yes welder I got too is a really nice welder, but the bevel's just DC, which is about all I need. 210 amp, very nice welder. A lot of bang for the buck there. Well, this should be pretty straightforward TIG welding here, but I'm not used to welding thin stock like this, so we'll see how I can do. Wow, looks pretty good. Having to move pretty fast, so I think I'll turn the amperage down a little bit. I was on 100 amps. Turn it down to about 95. Whoop. I went through right there at the end. That's okay. It's much longer than necessary. Okay. I welded a clamping collar on that. Only welded it on the one side so that the other side could still clamp. Whew, it fit. I may or may not have to put a cover on that. We'll see. No doubt a cover would make it better, but well, we'll see on that. I may have to rotate it a little bit. Depends on how the tool rests, if it obstructs. That'll dictate the position of that. I was thinking maybe just put a can there, or with a deflector or something to deflect it into some kind of catch pan. We'll see. I think it'll work good. Looks like that clearance right there is going to work perfect. It still allows me to move the tool rest fairly extreme. And if I have to move it further than that, I'll rotate the guard, but I doubt I'll ever have to change that angle any more than that. I think it's going to work good. It still remains to be seen whether I need a cover on this or not. I don't really think I will, but we'll see. Okay, let's see how this does. Catching most of it. Just flip this power switch around and call it done. Wait a minute, I gotta paint the guards. Well, that was a little theatrical, I guess, but I'm proud of this thing. It turned out good. If you don't know anything about CBN wheels, let's go over some of the pros and cons of CBN. First is rapid stock removal. It takes stock off super fast on high-speed steel and hardened steel. If you've ever ground tool steel on a regular grinder, it's slow going, and this is extremely fast. The temperature is lower. That's a huge plus. You can really take the stock off and not generate hardly any heat. Very long lasting. I'm guessing these will probably last me the rest of my life. And the wheel never needs dressing. It always stays flat. Makes it a lot easier to shape tools. The cons are it's not suitable for mild steel. It'll plug the grain on it and ruin your wheel. So don't use any soft steel on the CBN wheel. The wheel life is reduced if you grind carbide. It will grind carbide. I've sharpened my tungsten carbide TIG welder electrodes on my old grinder. I really haven't noticed any difference in quality from grinding the carbide, but I don't recommend it. As far as Moresuperhard goes compared to other manufacturers, I can't really make a head-to-head comparison. I do know that they grind much better than the one I got on eBay, but I don't know anything about the one I got on eBay. But I think CBN is CBN. If it works good when you get the wheel, it's probably going to continue to work good. I don't plan on replacing these in my lifetime. The only issue I had with them was the bore diameter. I had to take a little emery cloth to the mandrel to get the wheel to fit. And from my measurements, my mandrel was exactly a ½ inch before I tried to fit the wheel to it. I didn't measure it after I took the emery cloth to it. I suspect it's probably 1.5 under. It may be that other grinders are under ½ inch to make sure the wheels fit. I didn't try it on my other grinders. But I wouldn't hesitate to buy these wheels. They're a really good value. I think they're $85 on Amazon. Anything comparable is well over 100. So it's good bang for the buck. Highly recommend. Be sure and check out Moresuperhard on Amazon, and I'll put the links down below. And check out their web store too. They got a wide variety of other grinding products. That about wraps it up for today. Thanks for joining me. Be sure and subscribe and ring that bell.